Michael opened the door to his apartment. "Come in," he said to Jennifer. She stood hesitantly, afraid to enter. "Come on, don't be afraid. No one will hurt you here. Come on in," he encouraged the girl. Michael took her hand and led her into the room. She looked around in surprise, taken in the surroundings. The apartment was cozy and warm. There was a large sofa and 2 armchairs in the spacious living room. A large television hung on the wall and a vase of flowers stood on the coffee table. Jennifer sat down. Her legs were aching, and her back was aching. "Get some rest and I will make you some tea," Michael told her. The man smiled, gently stroked her shoulder, and looked into her eyes. They were bottomless, and Jennifer herself seemed frightened. "It's okay. You and I are going to be okay now, baby," Michael told, pouring the flavored tea into cups. He opened the refrigerator and took out cheese and sausage. "Let me do it." Michael heard Jennifer's voice behind him. "What?" "Let me make my own sandwiches," she replied. "Where's the bread?" "In that locker?" "Oh, sure. Make it, please." Michael thought that the girl was hungry. I should have taken her to a cafe and feed her a proper, tasty meal, not sandwiches, he thought. But he was in a hurry. He wanted to bring Jennifer into his house as soon as possible. And now the young beautiful girl was sitting across from him, drinking tea. Michael was happy to have her around. He really didn't want to part with Jennifer, but he still had to go to the office and then to meet his wife. "I have to leave," he said to Jennifer, getting up from the table. "But you make yourself at home. Use whatever you want." "Okay. Can I take a shower?" she asked. "Of course. I told you everything is at your disposal here." The man smiled at her. "Don't be bored." He waved her off and headed out the door. Tonight Michael will have to have a serious talk with Emily, and he knew it wouldn't be an easy conversation. He was afraid of fight with his wife from the girl he had brought into their home. Michael and Emily met when they were both well into their 30s. A woman came to the lawyer's office for the consultation. Michael liked her immediately. She was cute, with big blue eyes and a slim figure, but the man did not immediately decide to ask her out. For a whole week he thought about her, remembering the look of her blue eyes, and then he found her phone number and called her. "Hello, this is Michael, the lawyer. You approached me a while ago," he said. "Yes, I recognize you," Emily replied. "Is something wrong?" "No, no. It's just that Michael struggled to find the words. "Are you busy tonight? I would like to take you to the cafe for a cup of coffee." Emily wondered. "Okay, let's meet," she agreed. Michael was waiting for her in a small cafe in the town's central square. He was anxious. Emily was late, and the man thought she wouldn't show up. But suddenly a familiar, slender figure appeared in the doorway of the cafe. Emily walked slowly toward him, her curls spilling over her shoulders. "I'm so glad you came," Michael told her. "To be honest, I was beginning to give up hope of ever seeing you again." "Sorry, I got held up a little late at work." Michael helped her to sit down, pulling a chair over her. He gestured to the waiter and looked the menu from his hands. They talked a lot that evening. Michael learned that Emily was not married and lived alone. She eagerly told him about herself, and he listened without taking his eyes off her beautiful face. Emily fascinated him. They left the cafe alone and walked through the park. After walking Emily home, Michael asked, "Can I hope to see you again?" The woman looked at him carefully. She liked Michael. Intelligent, very intelligent with kind eyes, The man seemed to have serious intentions. They began dating, and a month later, Michael proposed to Emily. When she said yes, he was happy. The couple had been married for 10 years. Michael always took care of Emily, tried to please her every day with nice little surprises. They loved each other very much, lacking in their family only one thing: children. Emily knew that Michael really wanted a child, but she could not get pregnant. "Let's adopt a baby," she suggested one day. "That way our family will be complete, and we could give love and care to the orphan." "No, honey. I want our baby to have my blood in it, okay? I want it to be my own." Emily understood her husband, but the pregnancy did not come, and the years passed. She underwent various examinations. Doctors could not find the cause of her infertility. The woman suffered a lot, realizing that she will not be able to give her beloved husband a child. That day, she took a day off work. Emily had a bad headache. She took some medicine, but the pain didn't go away. She drove home thinking she should lie down. As she approached the apartment door, she heard loud music coming from her and Michael's house. "That's weird. My husband never turns the music up that loud. And anyway, he should be at work at his law firm," Emily thought. The woman pulled her keys out of her purse and opened the door. "Michael, are you home?" she shouted. No one answered Emily. She went into the living room and turned off the music. When she looked into the bedroom, she saw that the bed was unmade and that she had carefully laid the covers that morning. Emily didn't know what was going on, but she walked into the kitchen and only then heard the sound of water running in the bathroom. "Michael, are you in there?" She knocked on the door, then pulled the knob toward her. What the woman saw shook her to the core. A young, beautiful girl stood in the bathroom. She was hastily wrapping in the robe Emily had hung on the rack in the bathroom that morning. The woman was at a loss of words. She stared at the girl, unable to utter a word. It was hard to not notice the rounded belly of the stranger. She was pregnant. Michael brought his pregnant mistress into the house, Emily thought. The thought made her eyes darken. Emily slammed the bathroom door shut, unable to look at the husband's mistress. "How dare he do this to me?" The woman's heart ached with resentment. Her first desire was to call her husband and demand an immediate explanation. But after a little thought, Emily decided to kick out of the house the insolent girl who washes in their bathroom, and even put on Emily's robe. "Get out of there now!" she shouted. The door opened quietly, and the girl stepped out. To Emily's surprise, she strode barefoot into the living room and sat down on the couch. "Who are you?" Emily asked her. "I'm Jennifer," the girl replied. "How did you get in here, and why are you washing in our bathroom? Who said you could take my robe?" The girl was calm, and that made Emily very angry. "Michael gave me permission. He said I could use whatever I needed here," Jennifer declared. "Michael?" Emily had lost her temper. She was about to throw her husband's pregnant mistress out of the door when she heard her husband's voice. "Jennifer, where are you?" he shouted, opening the door to the apartment. Emily hurried toward him. "Jennifer, how could you even do that?" she screamed at her husband. "I've always thought you were a decent man, and you—" "Don't yell, please," Michael said calmly to his spouse. "What am I supposed to do? Watch the girl washing up in the bathroom and put on my robe?" Emily continued to yell. "I will explain everything to you now. Michael tried to calm her down. He wanted to take her hand, but his wife pushed him away. I realize I can give you a baby. I know you really want a son or daughter, but do I deserve to be treated like this? What are you yelling about? Michael went into the living room. This is Jennifer, Emily. I would like you to meet Jennifer. Have you lost your nerve, Michael? You bring a pregnant girl into the house, and you're gonna introduce us? Of course she is. She's going to live with us now, Michael said to his wife. Jennifer got up from the couch and walked over to the man, and he put his arm around her shoulders, smiled, and looked at the girl affectionately. Emily thought her husband had lost his mind. She had always respected her husband, but now he was saying terrible things. You brought your pregnant mistress into our house to introduce us. I always thought you were an honest and decent man, Michael. What a mistress. Michael didn't understand. You've decided that Jennifer is my lover? He laughed, and Emily looked at her husband and the girl in the robe confused. He still had the nerve to laugh. Emily's words seemed to cheer Michael up. Finally, he calmed down and approached his wife. You've got it all wrong. It's my own fault for bringing Jennifer back without telling you about her. Michael said, looking into his wife's eyes. I can't listen to you anymore, Michael. You're gonna have to make a choice. It's either me or her. You're both dear to me, her husband answered her. And if you love me, you will welcome Jennifer into our home. We have enough room for her and the babies she's about to have to live with us. The girl watched the dialogue between the spouses with interest, stroking her belly. Emily was getting more and more angry, realizing that the girl was going to live in the apartment and have a child with her husband. No, I won't stand for it. Living under the same roof as your mistress is beyond me. If you've made your choice, then I'm leaving you, Michael. Emily was about to leave the house, slamming the door, but Michael caught up with her in the hallway and stopped her. Look, Jennifer is not my lover. Don't lie to me, Michael. Who's she then? She's my daughter. The man said those words while looking into his spouse's eyes. How can you lie so brazenly? He's not lying. Jennifer walked into the hallway. I'm his daughter. A confused Emily looked up at her. She didn't immediately realize that her husband and Jennifer weren't joking or mocking her. The meaning of their words came to her slowly. She felt her legs give out. I didn't know you had a daughter. You see, darling, I didn't even know it existed until recently, Michael exclaimed. And maybe I never will have known. As a law student, Michael met Samantha. She was incredibly beautiful, and he fell in love. But Samantha was in no hurry to reciprocate, although he persistently tried to win her heart day after day. The guy gave Samantha flowers, invited her to cafes and for walks, and finally, she paid attention to him. I was very mean to her, Emily. Michael told his wife the story of having a grown-up and pregnant daughter. Did you take advantage of her naive talks and then dump her? Emily asked her husband. I've done worse. Samantha and Michael had been dating for several months. That day, he rushed to his date with a girl in a high mood. Michael couldn't wait to tell her the news. Hi, Samantha, he said, kissing the girl. I want to tell you something. It's very important to me. But Samantha didn't seem to hear. The girl was thoughtful. Wait, Michael, there is something I need to tell you too. Well, come on, spill it. He grinned and Samantha took her eyes away from his pleased face. I'm pregnant, she said and looked into his eyes. Pregnant. And father, is he? The boy frowned. The news that the girl had told him didn't make Michael happy at all. He was in love with Samantha, but he wasn't going to get married. Michael had other plans. But it's a very bad time, he said in a cold, almost icy voice. But what to do now? The girl asked, almost crying. Get rid of the baby, Samantha. It's very cruel. I was just about to tell you that I've been offered an internship at a very large law firm. Michael was just about to break the news. I'll be gone for a year. What about me? Samantha asked with hope in her voice. Can I come with you? No, absolutely not. You will only disturb me, distract me from work. And anyway, I don't need a serious relationship right now. So get rid of the baby and forget about me. He turned and walked away, and Samantha stood there, staring at him. Tears rolled down her cheeks. I never saw Samantha again, because I left soon afterward and never returned to that town. But somehow, she tracked me down. It was a month ago. A letter arrived at the law firm. It was from Samantha. The woman wrote that years ago she had not aborted her pregnancy and had given birth to a daughter. I'm dying, Michael. Please take care of Jennifer. The news excited Michael. He wanted to share it with his wife, but didn't know how to tell the woman he loved about his betrayal. Michael realized that many years ago he did a very cruel thing to the girl. He thought only about himself, about his career, that he would soon become a lawyer and make a lot of money. But he didn't think about Samantha's feelings. He didn't think about the fact that he had hurt her, and the girl gave birth. She had a very hard time. Samantha lived her whole life alone raising her daughter, men trying to court her, but she did not dare to marry, afraid that her husband would hurt the girl. And then a terrible thing happened. A woman found out she was terminally ill. Daughter, you must definitely go to your father, she said, dying to her daughter. But he doesn't need me, Jennifer objected. And in this position, Jennifer was the same fate as her mother. She fell madly in love, and when her boyfriend found out she was pregnant, he dumped her. You see now, Emily, why I brought Jennifer to our home. I feel very bad for her late mother, so I want to take care of my daughter and her future child. It's going to be my grandson or granddaughter. Shocked by her husband's story, Emily remained silent. She didn't want to believe that her intelligent, caring husband had done such a cruel thing to a young girl. Emily gazed into his daughter's face. She could see now that the girl resembled her father. She had the same eyes, the same nose, the same lips. You will forgive me, Emily, for running the place while you were away. I do not think it will turn out that you will think me a mistress. It's not your fault, baby. Emily smiled at her. Now come on. I will show you the room you are going to live in. Michael sighed with relief. He had almost had a fight with his beloved wife after keeping the news of his daughter's existence from her. But Emily had been able to accept Jennifer. A month later, Emily and Michael arrived at the baby supply store. Jennifer gave birth to a baby boy who was named Kevin. This crib right here, I think it will fit my grandson. Michael walked over to the crib. And we also need to buy a stroller, a high chair, and lots of pretty things for the baby. Emily supported him. They had already furnished Jennifer's room and were preparing to bring her and her son come from the hospital. Now they had a grandson, from the grandparents will be sure to surround with care and love. Michael was grateful to his wife for her sensitive heart. and feminine wisdom.